So, no cup of tea as I sit to record this because it is... actually, what time is it? It is 10 to 11 at night on Sunday evening, which is actually 10 to 4, I think, in the morning in England. And I'm sat out on my balcony in Fort Lauderdale. Just checking in. It won't be an hour. I'm afraid, but you probably already saw that. You downloaded it and you saw the length of the episode. I only got here today, so I drove down from Orlando today, having spent the week there with my family in a villa, which was lovely. But what I thought I would do is, this episode would be me checking in, and then next week when I'm home, I will dive or delve deeper into what I've been up to, basically, and everything I did. It's been lovely. 3 takeaways so far. The main one would be the drive-in in Orlando is some of the worst I've seen in the world. And I have been on a TV show called World's Most Dangerous Roads. However, Orlando seems to be, and I haven't driven through enough of Fort Lauderdale to really cast a judgment. Is that a saying? Cast a judgment? To judge. I don't know. Anyway, I'm tired. There's no indication. People don't indicate here. And nobody will thank you for letting them in. But also, if you... Not that I've done this a lot. Like, cut someone up, or you see someone be cut up. No, there's no road rage either. Nobody gets angry. It's just like they've all accepted, yeah, we're all really bad drivers, so whatever happens, happens. It's really odd. Now, my theory is that the locals gave up being annoyed at the tourists, and the tourists are mostly parents with children driving to and from Disneyland. They are tired and driving in a foreign place, so they're not good. And then the locals have gone, you know what, it's not worth us getting road rage. Or also because it's sunny all the time, maybe they're just in a good mood. I think there's less road rage in London in nice weather, so it might be a bit of that. I don't know if you heard that just a moment ago come past, but here, I'm very close to Miami. There seems to be a culture of teenagers in loud cars. Now, the loud cars are a bit different to what the teenagers would drive. One, when I was a teenager, and two, now, when I see teenagers driving. I just went out for dinner, and opposite, two cars drove past, then turned around, and they had that loud engine thing that makes a needless sort of bang, and fancy lights or whatever. But one of them was a brand new Mercedes, and one of them was a brand new BMW, and they were both teenagers. So I imagine, I don't know if you can hear that now, there's a car going past and the music's really loud. It's like it's a quiet place where I am until they come past. Yeah, that was never me, so I can't quite understand the mentality. Anyway, I imagine these two one in their BMW, the other in their Mercedes, sort of pulling up at high school because they were that sort of age. And there's also children their age turning up to school on the bus. I feel like if TV and films set in American high schools are in any way factually accurate, then this is exactly what their life is like. So, main takeaway: terrible driving. Customer service, unbelievable. So nice. I think probably it's the nicest I've ever experienced, because Australia was nice, but they're very laid back. So they're polite, nice, and laid back. Whereas America is sort of, it sounds bad, but I don't mean it to be, sort of, it's slightly in your face. But they sort of want to get to know you. I bought a hat. I bought a Packers hat. I support the Green Bay Packers. Never been able to find a Green Bay Packers hat that fits, and I found one, and I love it. And then the guy in the shop was a Packers fan, so we were talking away. But then other people wearing the hat, and people want to chat about it. Not even, to be honest, it's not even people at work. I went to Kennedy Space Station. I'll talk about that more on next week's episode. And I was wearing the hat. And then later on, a guy said, saw you earlier in the hat. And I thought, I better mention that. So he said, go Pack Go. I was like, I love that. I love that. They're all just very outgoing. Sometimes Americans get a bad reputation for other things that are out of their control, I think. And it's not fair, because they are, on the whole, very outgoing, nice, polite people. Young people are as well. I find that young people here, if you like, there's a show I've watched on Netflix called Last Chance U, and it's about these. Can you hear the sirens? Oh, what is that? Sirens going past. It's I don't know if you can hear that. There's actually only one police car, but it sounded like about 10. What was I saying? I'm very tired, sorry. So I'm sat out on my balcony. Did I make that clear? What was I saying? Customer service. Wearing a hat. People are outgoing. Don't know. Sorry. I'm sort of talking in this slightly quieter way. Because, yeah, I'm on my hotel balcony, so just in case. So, this is a very relaxed episode, but also a shorter episode. Yeah, it was supposed to be a 3-hour drive from Orlando to my hotel. I think it was 4.5 hours. 4 hours 40. In fact, it was 4 hours 20. 4 hours 20 it took. Yeah. So I'm just feeling very tired. I feel more jet lagged from that drive than I did from the actual flight over. But it was so nice to be with my family. I'm not with my family anymore. We had a week, and now I have a holiday. But from where I am in Fort Lauderdale, Miami is an hour away, and I don't think I would ever go to Miami for any other reason. As in, like, I wouldn't go on holiday there. That's not my vibe. So I might drive down and see it, and check out Miami. Go to, is it Muscle Beach? Just go along the strip. Just check out Miami. It actually feels like where I am here feels like Miami light, in that lots of palm trees, the buildings are all white, and there's people in showy cars driving past. So it feels like it's sort of going to be this on steroids. One other thing I do have to say is, actually, let me sort of stop and talk about customer service a bit more. It's just so nice. And I think the thing is, as I said, in Australia, their customer service is good, but they're very laid back. In the UK, it's good, but nobody ever wants to be a nuisance in the UK, so we're a bit more reserved. Whereas in America, they're polite, and they're outgoing, they're happy to chat, they're very good at chatting. When I got to this hotel, they take your car off you, and they say, we'll bring your bags up. And the guy who brought the bags up, he just came into the room, asked, could you hear that? I don't know if the microphone's picking up that engine sound. You might be hearing it going, Jake, how did you not think that there was a chance the microphone wasn't picking up that sound? Or sorry, how did you think the microphone wasn't picking up that sound? I don't know. I'm so tired. You know what I mean. Or you can't hear a thing, and you have to take my word for it, it's loud. He said, what brings you here? I said, just a break, just a holiday. Oh yeah, some of that R&R, he said, some of that R&R. And I went, yeah. And I thought, if he turned to me then and said, do you know what R&R stands for? I would have completely crumbled. I realise people say it, R&R. Rest and recuperation? Relax and, I don't know, rest and recuperation would have been my guess. But I thought, yeah, I might start using that. It's that their conversation's very good. Or some of the R&R, and he just went, well, if you come out of here, if you turn left, over that bridge, there's all the restaurants and bars. If you turn right, the beach is right there. Quieter restaurants here. If you need anything. He was just so confident. And who did he remind me of? He was sort of like a young Keanu Reeves. He's sort of, you know when you see or hear Americans and they talk with a, like a bro dude accent that you can't actually quite believe is real. So I was about to attempt it then, and I pulled out of it so quickly because I haven't practiced. But he was like, yeah, he was like a surfer dude basically. And then I did just wander down to the beach, and it was lovely. It's dark, so there was a walkway I walked through, and then the beach was so quiet you could just hear the sea. Then I heard a noise, wasn't sure what it was. It scared me, I panicked, and I turned around and left quickly. But I need to ask someone tomorrow, are there alligators in the sea here? How safe am I? I'm not going to go swimming in the sea because of the sharks. However, even walking around the beach, is an alligator going to appear? Because I have seen many alligators. Some big ones, some baby ones, but alligators all the same. One of the ones I saw, I'll talk about it more next week. It was, I couldn't believe how big it was. It was like, I need to find a good way to describe how big its nose was, but it wasn't just the length, it was like the whole width of it. What was it like? I'll tell you what it was like. It was bigger than, like a snowboard. You know the way the snowboard would be long and then have that big round bit? It was wider than that. Massive thing in Mount Dora. So I went to Mount Dora, which is a place we used to go to when we were younger, when we would come here in the 90s. And it was weird to go back, because for my family it was quite like a famous little town that we always loved, because there was like a boardwalk you went through. After I thought I was feeling something, I mean, I realised it's bugs. I think I might be being bitten out here. And you see alligators in the water. There's like turtles around. I think we saw raccoons once. It's very cool. To go back as an adult was, it was really nice, lovely place. Mount Dora. if you want to look it up, Google image search. We walked along, and then a guy came past in a Pittsburgh Steelers t-shirt and hat, actually. And he had a walker that was similar to the one that the old man has in Up. And he said, if you want to see a big alligator, go through that walk, there's one asleep under the bench. And I said, well, I'll just stay here then. Nothing from him. That's the thing with them. Americans will talk, and we sort of get very British and sort of laugh along. We try and joke back with them or tell a joke, and they take it at face value. So he went, no, go around there, you'll see it. I was like, yep. Yeah, I am going to. I thought we were bonding. Anyway, I went round, saw it. It's absolutely massive. Huge thing. And then as I was walking back, saw another one swimming across the lake. You could just see its tip of its nose, its eyes, then it's sort of its tail, like I don't know the word, I'm going to say S-ing through the water. And then, I'm telling you more than I planned to, we went to a place called Celebration. Now, Celebration I'll go into more next week. It's like a small town. I think it was supposed to be built as like the most idyllic place to live. Like, it was perfect, I guess, by Walt Disney. I think I'll do more research and then tell you more about it next week. Anyway, there's steps that lead down to the lake, and there was a big alligator in there yesterday. And then my sister was there with the children, and my great niece, who is 2, and my great nephew's also 2. They're twins, and you could see the water changing. That clearly an alligator was getting near to the steps, and we went, "I'll move them away. I think the alligator's there." And my sister just went, "Where?" And I went, I ran and picked up my great niece, who's 2. I went, "Where?" I was like, "It's not a time for questions of where. There is an alligator coming." Now, my sister, it turns out, had never seen any of those videos in, in like Safari. On Safari, you see the, it's like a gazelle might be drinking from the water, and then an alligator just jumps out, grabs it, sort of corkscrews it, sort of turns it round, and then kills it. She thought it was just going to slowly climb out of the water, and I was like, I pictured it doing that to Thea, so I grabbed her. But I think I'm more sort of scared than most people. But scared, yes, but also vigilant. Vigilant, is that the word I'm thinking of? Super aware of danger is what I am. But seeing the alligators in the wild is just a mad thing to live amongst. And what's mad is, it's America. It's so big that, yeah, here, they're in Florida. Yep, we live amongst the gators. Then you say that to someone in Chicago, and it wouldn't blow their mind. I know it happens, but they live in the same country, and that's not an issue for them. It's like finding out that Manchester doesn't have moths. But one other thing I have to say, and this is just me checking in. I keep saying that, don't I? I'm so tired, sorry. We really have to applaud anybody who lives in the United States of America and has managed to remain healthy and slim. Because one of my favourite things to do when I'm away, 3 things. 1 is a bookshop. Tick, I've done that, loved it. I'll go to more, but I did it. Go to an open body of water. As you know, I went to the sea earlier and went to the lake, 2 different lakes, saw alligators. 3rd one is to go to supermarkets, just see what it's like, all the stuff they've got. So I went with my nieces, and oh my god, just Everything's so bright and shiny and looks like... The packaging makes it look like the most delicious thing you're ever going to eat. I saw something earlier and it was pretzels. It was made by Reese's peanut butter people. Pretzels filled with peanut butter. I didn't buy them because I've got mouth ulcers that have come, I think, from me not eating well and being tired. Canker sores, they call them here, it turns out. Got 2 mouth ulcers on my tongue, one either side of my tongue, so I'm having to eat very carefully. But I saw them and I was like, yep, if I just knew I'm going to be watching a film tonight, get some Reese's pretzels. I mean, they might be awful, but look good. Look good on the packaging. Wow. Everything looks so good. And then I found a drink in a 7-Eleven is like their convenience stores, which you go to and you get something called a big gulp. My nieces love doing that, and they'll get like, I'm a nephew, they get like a Dr. Pepper, or actually, no, he doesn't, because he only really drinks water, so I guess he doesn't really, maybe he got one as a treat, but anyway. He drinks water, but he's old enough to do it by choice, by the way. They don't just only give him water. He's 12? 13? 12. But he just likes water. Anyway, it's like a big thing of, you fill it up yourself and you can put anything. You could put a bit of Mountain Dew, a bit of Dr. Pepper, a bit of Fanta in it. You make what you want. Anyway, there was one, and the picture on it was just 2 cinnamon sticks. What is it called? I'm going to have to Google it. First Google of the episode. What was it? 7-Eleven. Big gulp. Cinnamon. Big gulp cinnamon. Cinnamon. Let's have a look. What was it? Huh. Well, this rubbish AI overview it gives you doesn't seem to think that it exists, but I'll tell you what, it does, because I had it. What is it? It's like a Spanish... I think it was Spanish cinnamon drink. Spanish cinnamon drink. Let me... It begins with H. Oh, H. Sorry. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Horchata. 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 The famous Spanish cinnamon drink is horchata, which features tiger nuts, water, and sugar. Well, it tasted cinnamon. While the Spanish original uses tiger nuts, never heard of them, and is often garnished with a touch of cinnamon. There we go. The heavily cinnamon-spiced rice version most people picture is actually Mexican horchata. Okay, that makes sense, because I'm in America. Okay, so it's horchata. An iced rice milk beverage from Mexico that's a simple blend of rice, cinnamon, milk, and sweetener. And my God, it was good. It was like, if you've ever had cinnamon grahams, it was like if you just had the milk at the end of that. It says here, for those who have never had horchata or horchata before, you're in for a treat. Horchata is a grain-based beverage that's made from various types of nuts or grains. Spain uses dried and sweetened tiger nuts, while Puerto Rico uses ground sesame seeds. The horchata we know and love here in the US is a rice-based drink straight from Mexico. But don't let the rice part fool you. The texture is beautifully creamy with a blend of sweet and spiced cinnamon flavours. It's almost like my rice pudding recipe in liquidy drink form. Yeah, I'll go with that. I don't want to Google whether or not it's good for you or not, but I'm going to guess not, but it's good for you if you just want to feel good. Horchata good for you? Let's have a look. Please say yes. Can be part of a healthy diet. Another loud car just went past. Horchata can be part of a healthy diet in moderation, but it's typically high in sugar and calories. Yeah, didn't need to know that. Oh, antioxidants of cinnamon. It is lovely though. Recommend it. Also, you know, when it's up against... Can you hear that music? Can you hear that? I'm 3 floors up. Can you hear that? Let me see if I'll show you. Sorry if you're not watching this. Okay, well now I'm scared because the moment I put the camera on him, even though I'm 3 floors up on a balcony, the music went to, he turned it down. And now I'm scared. Okay, now he's shouting Spanish. Okay. Okay, he's driven off. Okay. I was needlessly tense. I don't think he even saw me, but as soon as I turned the camera on him, the music went down. And then he just sat there in the car, revving the engine for a while. It's a nice area, don't get me wrong. It's just, every now and again you get a loud car, and I find it quite intimidating. Really? So yeah, the food here is crazy. Just so bright and alluring is the word. Can you hear that? And bad for you. Also, what's crazy is how much cheaper it is to eat unhealthy food. 1 pepper I saw was $5. I bought 3 peppers for $15. Just to try and be healthy. So it's expensive to be healthy. Right. This was a much shorter episode, I'm fully aware. But I'm very tired. I wanted to put something out, so you're not too disappointed. Even though you might be slightly disappointed that there's only currently 27 minutes to listen to. But it's better than nothing. Maybe you could have listened to it at half speed and it would have been perfect, actually. I'm going to go to bed because I can barely keep my eyes open, if I'm honest. Yeah. I think it's because there's children around. I've been getting up early to be with them. And it's been lovely days, but days in the sun, by the pool. But in the heat. And I think I've just... it's been lovely. I'm going to keep saying that because I do mean it, but also just because of what I'm about to say. It feels like the holiday's about to start, where now I can switch off. And I just need to rest. So tomorrow is going to be down on the beach with a book, some magazines, some podcasts, and just switch off. Or maybe I'll have a horchata or horchata. Let me know what it is in the comments, if you know. Is it a CH sound or a K? I don't know. If you know of it. Apologies. This wasn't exactly a classic episode of Had Worse Mondays, but you would have had a worse Monday, I'd like to think, if you didn't have this episode. So, next week will be a big old catch-up about my holiday. I'll go into more detail, which will involve, amongst other things, my mum taking down a bully in a restaurant. And it was amazing. My mum really took down this bully. And the bully, an adult, could do nothing but sort of look down and just go, sorry. It's brilliant. I'll tell you about it next week. Can you hear those sirens? Can you hear that? Let's see if I can film it. Oh, it's a fire engine. Shouldn't be that excited. Obviously it means there's a fire, but... So, this might have given you a good example of what it's like here, where basically it's really quiet, and then once every 10 minutes, either a loud car or a siren comes past. But usually it sounds like this. I'm going to hold up the microphone so you can sort of get the ambience. That was ambience, not ambulance. Just a fire engine. It's just the sound of grasshoppers or something? Crickets? Oh, God. Half an hour. That's all right now. Right. Thank you for listening. I'll be back with more anecdotes next week. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have a great week. And as always, I'll see you next Monday. Bye.